the technology shall be used to liberate cinema.
Because of digital technology, we can make editing almost as fluid as thought. There's very much, even in the editor's job, that is affected by the fluidity of access to all the new buttons that he or she can push.
Again, the Limey is a great example of that. Just the speed with which we had to do different structures and trial and error of just individual shots just to see if it would work. So I think you can use your editing equipment to inspire your style slightly, or you can execute your own ideas of what you would like the style to be.
The other shift, of course, is the special effects shift, the shift to post-production. If you take the departure point as Star Wars, that's had a big influence on editing because you basically have to incorporate the special effects in your story.
The kind of movies I make, 3D editing. I move everything around. I make all kinds of transitions and changes. So with this kind of technology and with a little previs department that will do computer animated Videomatics and that sort of thing, I can just completely sort of rewrite as I'm editing. And I've always worked as my own writer, my own director, and my own editor. So when I sit down, I don't just cut a movie. I actually rewrite it, I redirect it. Now, using digital technology, you really are creating the reality in the editing room, and I'm sort of used to doing that, and I think that has carried through my entire career.
Editing is a series of graphic, rhythmic, spatial, and temporal choices and controls. And by making those choices from shot to shot and juxtapositions, you're affecting all those qualities. Editing was born to make movies. It only exists in movies. Therefore, it could be said theoretically that editing is filmmaking.
The Matrix pushed aesthetic pleasure very, very far. A combination of brilliant editing and new techniques. They used the effects, everything they could do at the most advanced level to create a very striking story and very, very striking imagery and situations. That's just very, very beautiful editing.
You're putting the audience in the scene. You're anticipating what the audience wants to see, so you're smoothly pulling them around through a tunnel of vision. And what technology allows you to do is collaborate more. And once you capture the image in a computer, it's infinitely malleable.
When the Wachowski brothers use what they call bullet time, the lines between what's cinematography, what is editing, and what's computer-generated graphics have begun to really blur. What the effect is for the audience is that there is a new way of seeing time, seeing actors moving in time, and time can now be manipulated not just by slowing it down or speeding it up, but can actually be done by doing both at the same time.
Manipulating time, making it plastic, demonstrating that plasticity has been a concern of all 20th century art forms. Interestingly, film, I think, is inherently the one that's best suited to do that. What we did in The Freeway Chase is an example of that. We have something like 600 cuts in 15 minutes. The fact that I can do it so quickly makes me want to try it. In fact, I think to a certain extent the challenge is to realize when you shouldn't do something, simply because you can do it. Because movies are so handcrafted, it's very difficult to predict where technology is going to show up.
This is Zion Control.
But I think you can be pretty sure it'll show up as a positive thing.
Roger that, Control.
Art is a very human thing. You cannot take computers that will completely take the place of humans. If they produce some kinds of things that look artistic, it's still our way of looking at them. So there's always going to be the human being project.